Welcome back to another video. It's Friday and you know what that means. It's time for top fuel teachers.
Look, I promise I'm not going to interrupt you this week. We'll have a brilliant video intro.
You ready?
I am ready. Let's do this.
So let's do an intro. Yeah?
You ready for it?
Ali? So yes, welcome back to another video. Now, you may have seen this floating about on the channel a little bit. So today's video, we're going to talk about this amazing Mark II Escort.
So then, Aid, talk to us about this Mark II Escort.
Well, this amazing Escort belongs to a good mate of mine, Paul. I don't think he's driven it for about 5 years now because it's been in the process of a restoration. It used to be orange and he had all the bodywork changed and tidied up, and now it's this lovely yellow that you can see. It's a very good paint job on it. He was having all the mechanicals done on it, but circumstances changed and he couldn't get them finished. So me and Paul, we had a sit down and a chat, and he very kindly agreed to let us have this car in the academy so our students can get a chance to work on this. Now that's a massive thing. This is a 1978 Mark II Escort. There's not that many of them about, but there's still quite a few in the rally scene, which I get to see quite a bit. But you don't see these on the road. You'll see the odd one or two at a show, but they are very rare now. This is obviously a 4-door one, which even they are desirable now, but not as much as the 2 doors. The price of this, I don't know off the top of my head, but it'll be thousands. They are worth a fortune now. Like I said, this one is almost mint. It just needs a few things to finish it off. We'll be looking at them in a minute. It's not much. The engine's sat in it, gearbox is in it. We just got to really go over the wiring loom, rewire it, a few things on the interior, and sort the fuel system out. Now under here is a very, very nice piece of old school engineering. Some of our viewers that are like our age, let's say the mature years, you'll know what this engine is, you can guess it, but compared to modern engines, it's a classic. What we have here is a 2.1 Pinto engine on twin 40s. Now, it's not a standard engine either. It's got the 4-branch on it, and like I say, the 40s on it, but it's also got a rather wild camshaft in there. It's going to suffer on the drivability a little bit, but all the power will be high up in the rev range. So we've got to get this engine running. As you can see, I don't know if you can see there, we've got some wires. So we've got to sort the wiring out, and also here, we've got to sort the fuel system out. At the moment, the fuel pump and filter are in the boot. Now, I'm not too happy with them being located in the boot, mainly because if you get a leak on the pump or the filter, then you're filling your cabin up with petrol fumes. I don't like that. So we're going to run the fuel pipe underneath, as it would have been a standard, and probably mount the fuel filter and fuel pump there, I reckon, just because that's how I'd prefer to do it. Paul is a good lad, ain't you, Paul? And he's basically said, within reason, I can build this to how I want to build it, because he trusts me. I don't know why, I have no idea why. But he trusts me, and he knows what we're capable of, because he's seen Project D, which is up over there. So we're going to get on with it. We're going to have a look underneath it in a minute. We're going to get on with it and do the wiring. Got some interior wiring to do and a stereo for him, central locking as well, because he'd like that in there. And we're going to do the fuel system. The exhaust, we'll see when we get underneath. The exhaust obviously isn't tight at the moment. It's literally just hanging on there. But we need to tweak that a little bit. There's quite a few things that we need to do to finish it off. But we're going to get it up in the air and have a look underneath. So if we come and have a look underneath, we can see some of what's happening. Continuing along from the exhaust, if you come and look here, Chris, we can see this is why I've said we're going to need to get the exhaust, just tweak it a little bit. It's hard on the body there. So we need to just tweak it down a little bit so we can get the rest of the system up there. I think it's like an Ashley competition exhaust, which back in the day were quite good. As you can see, Paul has spent thousands on this with new sump, brand new alloy sump, the gearbox, everything. Now obviously, like I said, we've got quite a bit of finishing off to do. Got to get some bolts in there, all the stuff Paul has promised is in the boot. Get some bolts in there, start a motor as well. Little bit of an issue I've got to sort out with the clutch cable yet. The hole where the clutch cable should come through is actually in the wing, the web of the sump. So that's the other hole. So got to figure out there what I can do to get by that, get round that. I'm sure it won't be too much of a problem, but don't want to have the cable running at an angle if I can help it. So as you can see underneath, there is not a hint of rust, you know. Like I said, he has spent thousands on this car. This is pride and joy. Couple of other things that we've got to look at if you want to come around this side, Chris. Shock absorbers, this one's leaking, you can see. And this one, this bottom bush has just felt a bits. Now, something else I noticed when I was under here is this is an RS2000 anti-tramp kit. It stops the spring doing that when you're giving it large, like Kevin and Perry. And this is the extra anti-tramp bars that they put on. Now this one is nice and straight, and this one isn't. So I don't quite know what happened there, but that's one of the issues that we're going to address for Paul. So you can still get this sort of thing. There's loads of retro companies still make them. So these brackets weld on, but we won't need to do that. All we need to do is get another arm and that'll straight be a bolt out, bolt in swap. Something I did notice, which I haven't seen before on these Escorts, is this strengthening. Now, I know how they strengthen these axles sometimes. Sometimes you get a big alloy plate that clamps on around there. But this, it's been done really well. I've never noticed that before. Just an observation from us there. It's got, I think, 2-inch lowering blocks in it as well. Now, what I was saying about the fuel system, this is the exit of the fuel tank from factory. And it comes from here and goes back inside the boot, like I said. It goes up to the fuel pump and fuel filter. I'm not happy with it there. So these are the original clips where it did run. So we're going to run the fuel line all the way back on the original run to the front and have the fuel filter and the fuel pump under the bonnet where I think it should be, where I'm happy with it. Need to get a little bit of the nylon bush in the handbrake lever there, or the handbrake rod there, because I don't know if you'll hear that when you're driving, but it just winds me up. So, like I said, Paul has very kindly said, do what you need to do. He gave me a credit card to do it as well. So next week we'll be off to Ibiza, and we'll see you a couple of weeks after that probably. One-piece prop as well, which not all of them had, I believe. I had an Escort van that I put a 2 litre in once, Mark II, and it had the centre bearing there, and I had a split prop on that. But overall, it's not too much to do. Like I say, it is just little things like sorting that. That's just going to take a bit of thinking out the clutch cable. We might put an anti-dive kit on the front. I do believe it hasn't got one on it, although Paul was told it did have. I don't think it has, but I might be wrong. Like I said, brand new sump. Everything is good. We've got the, are they Willwards? Are they Willwards? Oh, I can't remember. ATE? Can't remember. Anyway, you've got the big discs. Well, big for this time of, car, 1978. I think they're Capri struts as well. As we're going to be putting new rear shocks on, we're going to get new inserts for the front as well, so that'll be all 4. Because obviously Paul wants this on the road, he wants to get it to shows. The aim is to have it ready next year about Easter time, but don't forget, DC UK show on the 9th of June. This, hopefully, will be on the Top Fuel Teacher stand then. Another little thing here, just niggles me. There's a broken bolt somehow in that chassis. Now, I can't bring myself to leave that there. We're going to get that out somehow. If I've got to cut the chassis off to get it out, don't worry, Paul, you know I'm joking. But we'll get that out somehow. Like I say, overall, it's got so many new bits. It literally is going to be like working on a new car. None of the bolts are going to be rusty or stuck in. So it'll be a nice job for the students, and like I said, it's a 1978 Mark II Escort. How many students are going to have the privilege of being able to work on a car like this? If you're with top field teachers at Rally Sport Engineering Academy, this is what we do. This is the chances you get. So that at the moment is just a brief rundown of this amazing Mark II Escort that we have got to work on. So it's goodbye from Chris.
See ya.
It's goodbye from Ollie.
See ya.
And it's goodbye from me. See ya. We will see ya next week.